Hello, good evening, everyone. Shivans and Arvind.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, so how are you guys doing? Hello?
Sir, actually, I am facing a couple of problems in the TDS project.
Okay. What problems you're facing?
Like, sir, in some cases, what is happening that the ChatGPT is also not able to answer the question appropriately.
Um, can you give me an example? Because I don't know.
Yes, sir. There were some questions. I'll put them on post. After this, actually, I'm not using the laptop right now. But apart from the project, when I gave them this prompt, also there also it was struggling to give the right answer. So in those cases, like sir, are we confident that all the answers, if we make if we make this project completely as per the requirement, ChatGPT would be able to solve them all 100% correct with its own
Uh, all the assignments that you've been given, right? They were all actually crafted by Anand using ChatGPT. So he has crafted it using those. So the solution set also he has crafted using those. So the key difference is he's got a lot of skill with prompt engineering. So that's why he's able to do it that well.
Okay, sir.
So
So
that's
I might be mistaken, and I'll retry if
hmm.
that.
It's not an easy skill to immediately get understand or be able to.
Actually, my view is actually more level up from the project.
Yeah, by the way, I don't know if it's just me or it could be my network, but it's not very clear what you're saying. Is anyone else having difficulty understanding?
Sir, is it clear now?
Yeah, you're clear now.
Yes. So, sir, actually, I am saying that this is more level up from the project one that we got. The deliverables over there are not. This is not like similar. So it might be that I am facing difficulty. So I'll retry because certain time is left for the project to get over.
Yeah, till 31st, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no worries. Uh, okay, let's see. Yeah, so next is Ketan, I think.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Ketan.
Sir, so first thing is I'm still not able to see my project one marks on
Okay,
the
yeah.
so
So there's a reason for that. We are still
okay.
working working on
Okay.
that. Okay,
Makes sense.
it's a colossal undertaking.
Got
Um, Part of the issue is the amount of data we have to pull from Docker Hub. It's
correct.
something I think we underestimated how much we would have to do that. So we have run
Got it.
into various bottlenecks because of that. So we have requisitioned the VM, we have requisitioned the local server, we have requisitioned an NFS folder on ITM's network, and
Okay.
we have used different credentials to pull things. And
Correct.
yeah,
Makes sense, sir.
it's
Because I was also checking by myself, and for me, it was only taking so much time. Naturally, I can understand for others,
yeah.
multiple cases. And the second doubt was, I understand the project too, but the only query is all the five assignments that we have to replicate over here. Some have like deployment of a open source LLM like Llama as well. So we have to replicate all of those as well.
So I think Anand answered that in his our previous Wednesday session. So if you look up the last Wednesday session, did you attend that one or
No, sir. I was actually traveling and could not attend.
okay? It's on the TDS playlist anyway. It's a
Okay.
fantastic session. He's spent a lot of time. Well, he spent the entire session discussing Project Two. So people raised all these questions there. So you will find almost all your answers to your questions on that session.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Delvin.
Regarding ROE, is there any update? It has been long. Like,
Yeah, specifically your case, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I have uh, I have informed JK about it before. I'll just ping him again now while we are on this call.
yeah. It has been.
Telvin, can you just put your roll number in the chat window, please? I don't mind.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember you sent a mail pinging both of us as well. So I remember reading that as well. So it's not like he hasn't seen it. I just think he's just probably forgotten. It's more like it. Okay, never mind. I got the email. I'll just. Okay, I've done a reply all. He's also in on the email, and so you can see that I've done that. So you can just check your mail. He's been copied in on it. It was a mail that you sent to him as well. So just a friendly reminder. Okay.
mail it.
Okay. So tonight is GA7 is due. You guys have been working on GA7 at all, or you've decided not to? Or
I gave up. I did not understand first customers.
oh, okay, okay. All right. What about the others? Okay. Let me.
Yeah, Captain, I have few more queries.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first one, were there any session on deployment of project too
Yes, I think Saransh did a session on deployment of Project 2 on Tuesday, I believe.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not been uploaded yet though. So
Okay.
I'll as soon as this session is done, I'll put it on the website. It is ready to publish, but it has not been deployed yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
straight after this session, it will be put up.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
might take like 15 minutes or so after this session, 15,
Okay.
30 minutes.
Okay. And it does mention like free Azure account like that accounts based right deployment or something.
Um, that I'm not entirely sure if he did, but tomorrow Jivraj will be doing a session as well, and he might do a demo there as well. Just 1 second, just 1 second. So Jivraj informs me that he has already done a demo with Azure deployment.
Okay.
Okay, so just check one of the previous sessions.
Okay. No, I did not find it. Yesterday's I did not check that. Yeah. And second thing is that
Oh, sorry, one more thing, Telvin. He said he has done it with DigitalOcean, not specifically Azure, but you can achieve the same with DigitalOcean, I guess.
okay. No, no, I need any resource
Yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
Telvin,
yeah.
actually, in that session, we discussed about how you can get Azure education pack, and then I used DigitalOcean to create a VM, and then in that I spent I ran Docker container.
Okay.
I think it should be last Tuesday's session.
Last Tuesday's session. Oh, okay, fine. I will refer that how to deploy it. Okay. And one interesting question I have. Actually, I saw this course and I have now more confusion on the JSON file which we have to reply back in project 2. So it was mentioned the output should be answer, then we have to give a JSON string as an output of project 2. But in discourse, they were chat that we have to don't use like slash as an escape character and all. So what's the conclusion? Should we give us string output in project?
So, okay. So, when we run the script, okay, I'm going to purely talk about it from a technical point of view now so that you understand what's happening. We will run a script, okay. That script will uh, take, will send some request to your endpoint, and your endpoint has to respond with a JSON, okay. Then when that answer comes back to us, okay, it'll be some sort of string that we will be getting. That string, we will evaluate if that produces the correct answer. Now, if, for example, the answer requires to be formatted in a very specific way, where there are some end line characters, where, sorry, new line characters and things of that sort have to be there for the structure to be maintained, then what happens on our end is when we get that string, we just use a function called JSON loads. Okay. If JSON loads gives us the clean formatted output, then that is the correct answer. So the way you test it, right, is if you run a JSON loads on your answer string, do you get the output that will give you the right answer for your G? Did you understand that workflow now?
No, actually, like let me tell a few cases. Okay, JSON you tell it will be load using JSON.dumps, right?
Okay, okay. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Because it's better to make this clear. This question keeps popping up again and again. And I don't know if there is a better way to explain it or not, but we will try.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to keep repeating this, actually, to be honest.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Actually, there are few more cases I will tell. You can give it single shot.
yeah. Just give me 1 second, okay? Uh, actually, second, just to share screen here. Okay, give me 2 seconds, okay?
Sir, just to add on to Kelvin's point, the same problem seems to be occurring for even markdown outputs. So you get
Yeah,
the
yeah, I understand. Yeah. So that's why I'm going to just show this once and for all, because even though we have explained it, there seems to be perpetuating confusion about this. So just give me 1 second so that I can just get set up here. Uh, if I can okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. This will work. Okay. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. Right. So this is what your endpoint is going to send. Okay. Um, I'll just okay for now. I'll just say some answer. Okay. This is a this is a perfectly valid JSON, right? So this is what your endpoint is going to respond to us. Okay. Now, when you have a JSON that has to be in here, right? The problem you will have is your JSON also will have some quotes and things of that sort, right? So one mitigation is you can do it by sending it this way, right? Possibly using single quotes. That's one possible mitigation. The other way is you, like some of you said, you might put a slash and you might escape out the quotes and things of that sort. Okay, so that's also possible. Now the key thing to remember is when you're sending this back, right? On our end, we will do JSON loads. I mean, sorry, JSON dot loads. I think that's called. Okay, and some response you will be sending this. Right? So this is your response. Okay, you're sending this to us. This response you're sending to us. On our end, what happens is we get it into a variable and we use JSON loads. If JSON loads gives us, so this will also give us a variable, right? Um, let's call this check GA answer, right? If this check GA answer gives us a string, right? Uh, gives us some sort of string, and if this what we copy and put in there works, then that's the correct answer. Did you understand that? This is the thing. The JSON loads that we do on our end to your response that comes out of this variable and it gets put into here. This check answer, GA answer, when we copy and put it into your, and this is true for all your submissions, right? So in other words, if your JSON has strings, okay, that need to be escaped. So say for example, you've got slash something here, and it's got I don't know, some ID or something, and then of course that has to be a slash also over here, and then it's got another slash over here, and then you got some value and another slash. Okay. Now when we use JSON loads and you get check GA answer, right? Check GA answer will come out cleanly. It will come exactly. It will come out exactly this way. It will say ID. Check answer will come out this way, right? This is how it will come out. This, if you put in your GA, it works, right? I want a response from you guys because we keep
Yeah,
going in
yeah,
circles about this.
let me tell. So, if my J written statement has an JSON itself,
Yeah.
and my response from API is also a JSON.
Yes.
Okay,
This something like this. Yeah.
not like this. So
Hmm.
actually, it's without a string itself. It's not inside a double quotes.
Okay. So you're saying you're sending a clean JSON, something like that.
Clean JSON
Okay.
without not inside a double quotes itself.
But you're putting it what inside single quotes? Then?
No,
Huh.
just a JSON itself. Okay. So I will tell the
No,
problem.
no, no, no. See, you're going to have to send us a string back, right? You can't
Yeah,
send us
string
this back.
when I try to put, then it's not happening properly. That it's giving slash in by default itself. Not for just JSON, but for every case. Even for Python program
Yeah,
based,
yeah, yeah. You can't send us a JSON. This inside answer should not be a JSON.
it should always like str of that.
It should be a string because that's what's requested, right? If you look at the project, that is the specification.
Okay. So for questions involving programs or dictionary or a list, everything we have to convert it to a string and send it out.
Yeah, you have to send it to us because we will use a JSON loads,
Okay, okay. In
right?
that,
I mean,
we,
because it's the same thing that Anand said again on last Wednesday session. He also addressed this question. If the JSON loads gives us the clean string, which is what it will do, it will give us something like this. This, if we copy and paste into the GA, it will work, right?
no, so programming part, Python and all, we have to have an indentation, right? So there, how it works. That's what the main.
So indentation also will work because when we do a JSON loads, it will give us a properly formatted string, right? Whenever there are
It will
slashes and
be
things of
just
that.
an double inside a double quotes like in a single line, right? Whether it will give like indentation, it will just give slash and right.
Uh, See,
Why?
some you have to send the encoding to us with the format anyway. You can't escape that fact.
You understood, right? My question, like
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're saying yeah. So what I'm saying to you is right when you send us something that's stringified, right? Something
Yeah.
that's in quotes, right? You're going to have to send us something with the formatting encoded in there, whether it's visible or invisible. That encoding has to be inside. There was
Okay.
a there was a whole module in first week GA1 about encoding. Okay, and there are invisible characters in encoding sometimes, right? Sometimes they are rendered, sometimes they are not. My point is whatever answer you send back to us, if it requires to have, for example, if it's Python code and needs to have a slash n so that it's formatted correctly, a slash t or whatever spaces or whatever it is, right? Then that has to be there in the string. Others, there is no way for us to imagine what the formatting is going to be, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
Don't
So
just say okay. Is that right or not? Do you understand?
yeah, it's right. It's right. I understood
Okay.
that point.
Okay. So that's what you have to do.
Okay.
You have
So
to
we have
give
to just
us.
yeah print JSON loads of our response and check whether it's been correctly formatted or
Yeah, yeah. And if it is anything that has slash ns or things of that sort, you have to give that to us because others, there is no way for us to know the formatting, right? Your formatting has to be there in as part of the response. If it is for markdown or something like that.
okay. So each and every case we have to ensure that it's been formatted correctly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to give us something correctly formatted. We will then load it on our end, and when we load it, it will parse through it, see whether it's a JSON, whether it's Markdown, whether it's Python. But you have to give us the formatting encoding. So once the formatting encoding comes in, we will parse it correctly, and then we will check your answer. It's as simple as that. Is that clear to everyone over here?
Sir, so I did try doing the same thing for a JSON response that I got through one of the GA questions,
Hmm.
and I'm getting an error. If it's all right with you, can I share my screen, sir?
Okay.
Just a second, sir. I'm running into some issue with the screen recording. Uh, Sorry, with sharing my screen, sir.
Okay. Meanwhile, I can show something else that's kind of important. Maybe not for all of you because all of you are not doing GA7, right? So I'll. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. So GA7, when it gets, when you finish um, submitting tonight, uh, GA7 is going to be scored in this manner. Okay. Uh, First thing is there will be 4 components to it. Each component will weigh 25% of that G. So first one is a peer evaluation, then what are called good reviews, then qualitative and a quantitative. Each of these sections are worth 25% of the GA. By the way, I hope it's visible. Um, okay, is that, can everyone see this? Okay. Um, right. So then the first component, 25 marks, you'll have 3 peers to evaluate. Okay. If you do not do any peer reviews, you'll get 0 for the whole assignment. Okay. So you have to do at least some peer review. You have 10 days to complete the three peer reviews from when we give you the form. Then each evaluation that you, or in other words, so here there are, so there's Telvin, there's uh, Sivan, Shalini, okay. So imagine I have to do the peer reviews. I have to do 3 peer reviews. So those are the 3 I have to do. For each one I review, I will get 6 marks. Okay. 3 peers. So that gives you 18 marks. If you evaluate all 3 peers, so if I evaluate, if you evaluate all 3 peers, then you will get a bonus of 7 marks. That brings it to 25. Clear so far? Is this regarding what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
25 mark for the assignment or 25
No,
marks?
no, no, no. I'll say again. There are 4 components: peer evaluation, good reviews, qualitative, quantitative. Each of these components are worth 25 marks or 25% of the GA. Okay. So the first one, if you do 3 peer reviews, all 3 of them, you will get a total of 25 marks. But the way you get 25 is each one of them is worth only 6 marks. So 3 peer reviews gives you 18 marks. But if you do all 3, you'll get an additional 7, which will bring it up to 25. Did you understand that?
So if we did not submit the GA7 itself, but we can review it, right?
No. If you did not submit, you can't review. You won't get marks.
For the GA7 alone, right? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, GA7.
okay. That's why, because this bonus meant I thought it's total. We'll get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no. So, is this clear to everyone? I'd like some response.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. Next component. Good reviews. So, you have reviewed 3 people, and if your evaluation score that you give is within plus or minus 33% of the average of the other 2 reviews, then it's considered a good review. You understood this? Hello. It would be good to know if you understood it. If you, if your score that you're giving to a peer is within 33% of the average of the other 2 reviews received by the peer, then it's considered a good review. Did you understand that? No one's responding. Okay. Vijay gives a thumbs up. Okay. Thanks, Vijay. Okay. So then some examples are there. You give a score of 66 to a student. His average is 67 of the other 2 reviews that he got. Okay. and that's because that's within 33%, it's classified as a good review. Another example is you gave a score of 65, the other two reviews were 100. Your review is not within 33% of 100, so therefore it's classified as not a good review. Okay, so these are the two examples where it's a good review versus not a good review. So why is this important? For each good review, you will also get 6 marks. So 3 peers, 6 marks for each review, 18 marks. If you give 3 good reviews, you'll get an additional 7 bonus. That brings this component up to 25% of the GA. Clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jaiswar, thank you. Nilma, thank you. Okay, third component. You're going to get uh, a qualitative and a quantitative uh, evaluation that you're going to be evaluated on. So this is now your submission being evaluated, plus what you are going to be evaluating others by. Okay. Um, I'll show some examples now soon. So, but first I'll go through this. So the qualitative part is 0, 1, 2, or 3 marks. So 0 marks, if so you remember that each of the questions at the bottom had some analysis, right? If the analysis does not have the correct interpretation, then that submission gets 0 for that particular GA question. Okay, so if it's say for example GA 7 question 1, which was I think had to do with can someone remind me what that was? It was it had to do with the pharmaceuticals, right? So if the analysis of that pharmaceuticals data set is not correct, then that submission gets 0 for that particular question. If the analysis provides some basic interpretation, like saying, okay, everything went up by 2% or something like that, something very basic, right, which anybody can see, then you get 1 point. If it provides some unexpected, unique insight, something that's not immediately obvious, okay, in the analysis, then, and of course, there has to be something to back it up. It cannot just be words, right? You look at the visualization and whatever they have created, and if they have some unexpected insight, then you give them 2. 3 you give them if they have gone above and beyond that, which is they have incorporated some external information sources in their GA, which compares what they have looked at versus something else that they found interesting that ties it up with the data set that we have given them. Because all the data sets we gave you were real world data sets. So we expect you to, use, if you're doing a really good job of it, then you're going to be looking at things more than just what we have shown, given you in the data set. So for that extra special capability, then we can give them 3. So that's the rubrics for the qualitative. 6 questions were there in the GA. Each one can get a maximum of 3 marks, as you can see, each of the single questions in the GA. That gives a total of 18 marks. If you get between 10 to 14, okay, so this is your submissions, remember, what you submitted or you're going to submit tonight, right? If you get between 10 to 14 marks in the qualitative evaluation, you'll get 3 bonus marks for good performance. If you get between 15 to 18, then you'll get 7 bonus marks for exceptional performance. Okay, understood so far? This is the third component, the qualitative component. Okay, Jaiswar is on the ball tonight. Jaiswar, if you were here, I would, I don't know, buy you an ice cream. Okay. Right. Fourth component, last component, quantitative. For each question, a peer, right, has to compute a specific value from your submission. So in other words, you have created some charts, correct? And you have used a data set to create that chart. Now, you might have bungled up your data set, right? You might have done it in a wrong manner and computed a wrong piece of information. So visualization looks great, but maybe your calculations are wrong. So that is what this checks. Is your underlying data set calculations correct? So for each question, that is, there were 6 questions in your GA, right? The peer has to compute a specific value from your submission. Okay. If that value is present in your submission, you will receive 3 marks. So there were 6 questions, 3 marks gives you a total of 18 marks. If you get all 18 marks, you will get 7 bonus marks. So this is how they will grade your submission, and this is how you will grade their submission. These 2 components, qualitative, quantitative. Everyone clear with this fourth component? Then I'll show you some examples. Okay, Jaiswar, Nilma. Thank you, Nilma. Right. So you'll get a form that's exactly like this. It'll probably look a bit better for you. You'll have to submit 3 of these forms for each of the 3 peers. The 3 peers you will review, we will send you an email who those 3 peers are that you have to um, do a review for. So you have to fill this form 3 times, one for each of those peers. So for example, question 7.1, right? So we'll ask you some computational questions, right? Which you have to get the value from their submission. Okay. And you fill that value here. Then you do the qualitative assessment. Okay. So the things that I showed you earlier. So then you have reviewed question 1 of GA7 of your peer. Okay. Similarly, there'll be other ones. So that's how the qualitative and quantitative works. You'll have to do that for 6 questions. And overall, you'll have to do that for 3 submissions. That's your review process. The qualitative and the quantitative. Okay. Is that clear now? Okay. I think only Jaiswar has had dinner today. Okay. Right. So that's all I have with regards to introducing the scoring system for GA7. Okay. Back to
Can I share my screen, sir?
yeah. You can go ahead and share your screen.
Yes, sir. So for this question, this particular question, for what's the JSON description for that particular city name. So for Seoul, this is the output I'm getting, and I try to pass it using JSON loads, just like you said. So I put this into a variable called response, and then I try to pass it in JSON loads. I got a error, sir.
Yeah,
Then
the object must be a string, it says. It's not a string.
Mhm.
That's what the error is. This is why I keep saying you have to send a string in. Your response must be a string.
Got it, sir. So at the end of the function, it should be return string of whatever
Yeah.
the answer.
See, yeah. See, if you look on your, if you look in your import JSON and response, right?
Yes, sir.
Your quotes are they being escaped correctly?
Yes, sir. This
Okay. So say here's one more thing. The response you're getting back, that is not a string, right?
Yes, sir. Let me check.
Because if I remember correctly, we had done a demo in one of the sessions also with JSON dumps and JSON loads.
Yes, sir. This is not a string. So it's returning a JSON dumps straight away. So I probably might have to convert that into a string and give the output.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it, sir.
Okay.
And on the same thing, I have a few more questions as well, sir. So for this particular question in GA4Q question 10, so it's said that you have to do some manual corrections, and then the output is to be taken from a input PDF file. And in that case, how would we be able to do manual corrections, sir?
Yeah, so with manual corrections, so the reason why that was said over there is initially the grading criteria for the GA itself was very, very strict. So there was only a very small percentage of errors that were allowed. What Anand did then was he relaxed the grading criteria for that question. So instead of let's say for argument's sake, you were allowed to make only two mistakes or something. He allowed it so that you could make three mistakes per line or something like that. Okay, I don't remember the exact criteria, but he relaxed the criteria.
Mm-mm.
So you're allowed to make more mistakes in your submission. So that's exactly what we will do as well. For tough questions like this, where manual corrections were necessary before, we will allow for more mistakes to be made in this one so that you can pass that particular question. So that
Got
manual correction is not required. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. And similarly, for Markdown outputs, all the hash and all the spaces, in case if the output has a slash or an escape line or a next line, in that case, it will be passed into what exactly, sir? Because, for example, here it's line by line, but most of the
Yes.
time when we get it as an output at the API endpoint, it's more or less like a single paragraph with slash ends like
Yeah.
that. So for
Yeah. So
Markdown
we
also,
will. Yeah. So markdown. See, when you send this text to us, right, it's still going to have to be a string that is formatted correctly, right, with the slash and or whatever it is. The
yes, sir.
encodings that require it to be quote unquote formatted correctly. So um, as long as your output is formatted with the encoding, like the end lines that are required or the tabs or whatever or the spaces, then from our end, our evaluation script will manage that without any issues.
Got it, sir.
Yeah. If you go back, by the way, go back to your JSON loads. I remembered something else. Just go back to your JSON loads.
Yes, sir.
So you see, you've written response there.
Yes, sir.
That's not the right thing we'll be loading, right? We'll be loading the stuff that is inside the answer. So the key is answer. We'll be loading the value in the JSON.
Understood, sir.
Yeah.
So it's
So it's this thing, whatever after answer is, it's you're loading the entire thing. Yeah.
mm, got it, sir.
So if you load that as a string, yeah, you
Mm.
have to put it has to be in a string.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then it should load correctly. If it's properly stringified, you'll have to check what.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
But we have demonstrated that in the session as well. So
is there any specific date available for the session, sir, just so that I can go and verify?
um, one second. Do we have a transcript of previous sessions? All previous sessions?
Till 17th of February, we have.
Oh, not after that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure which session because we haven't transcribed some of the later sessions that happened afterwards. Uh, I'm not sure which one it is, but it will be in one of these recent ones only. It won't be. You can just watch at like 3x or something. Oh, I'll give you a better idea. Instead of watching at 3x and all that, if you go to the TDS module where we talk about LLMs, right?
Yes, sir.
There we have given a workflow of how to transcribe a video, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, you can do the transcription yourself. It's free of cost. using Gemini 1.5 or something like that. That's what we use anyway. It's you can just use that using I think it's Google Studio, Google AI Studio. You use Google AI Studio, use Gemini 1.5, do the transcription yourself. Take the video, transcribe it, whichever ones are missing, and use the prompts we used because that's why we gave the example. Use the prompts used. It will summarize the session for you. It will tell you exactly these things were discussed in this session, and these were the questions that were answered. And then that will solve your problem, right? So
Yes, sir.
that's a
Yes.
good exercise for you guys because that's a skill that you can use in even in your real life work. You know, being able to summarize and transcribe videos. So
Yes, sir. And for this particular question, GA4 question 2, so it says that IMB search results may differ by region. And I remember while actually trying to do the graded assignment, I made a lot of changes. Like, for example, hyphens and some of the variables and some of the numbers and the movie titles, depending on what was expected here. So, based on the error, I modified it, the movie ones individually, and I got a correct answer for this question. So,
yeah.
how do we proceed for this one?
Yeah, again, any place where there are manual issues or manual corrections, we will be a little more softer with the errors. That's the mitigation that we will do on our end. In the GA itself, because we wanted you to do the exercise, so it was the grading criteria was harder. But it is so that you are aware of the issues that you will face when you're facing real world data sets. Right? The real world data sets are terribly messy, right? So it's not nice and clean like things in school. So it's that's why we kept the grading criteria strict for the GA itself. But from for the project evaluation, we will be softer with these kinds of evals because you will not be there to manually correct it, right? So we'll be more forgiving. We'll allow more mistakes in these.
Okay, sir. And I have another question regarding ngrok. So I have somehow managed to host the entire thing on AWS, and it's working fine for me.
Great,
And
fantastic.
sir, for all the individual questions, there are some questions that do send a post request or a get request to a API endpoint. So for those
Correct.
questions, for, I think for GA4 question 3, for that particular question, it we had to like send a API URL endpoint into the as a string in the response. So for that, what I did was I created a tmux session and then I run it on localhost, and then using ngrok, I forwarded that into a public port, and I detached from the session, and it's still running right now. And when I actually put that URL into the graded assignment at any given time, it's giving me a correct response.
Yeah,
So,
brilliant. That's exactly what we want.
yes, sir. And how many kinds of tunnels? So I was not able to create another tunnel. It's said that I can only do one. I can
Yeah.
only have one.
So correct. So ngrok will only allow you one tunnel. That's true.
Yes, sir. So is there like some? There are several different pricing plans. So I am confused as to which pricing plan I should choose in order to get access to more tunnels.
Yeah, you shouldn't require more tunnels. See, as long as your hosting service responds to endpoints, then that's all we really require.
Yes, sir, but there are a few more other questions where we have to send a request as in a name is equal to X, and name is equal to Y, and then we have another endpoint question based on similarity. And there's one more question in that same
Let me guess. They all use the same port number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So right now my point is I what I initially thought was I'll create a different ngrok tunnel URL for each of the questions. Is it possible for us to do everything together and put it in one single URL, will it actually, technically speaking, work, sir?
Mm,
I
no,
tried to create.
because when you have a single endpoint and it's tied to a single port, you will be requiring different outputs from the same endpoint, right? So that will not work if you're
Yes,
giving the same endpoint. You will have to give different endpoints.
yes, sir. And in that case, which means that I have to have more ngrok tunnels, because I try to do the same procedure that I did for AWS. So apparently, for sending the API URL endpoint, there is some sort of an error because it's
Okay,
not.
okay. Wait. Can you show me the question? Because before we get carried away with this
Which question,
discussion.
sir?
No, you're saying you wanted. So can you show me the question where you need an endpoint? Um, you're trying to trigger an endpoint, right? So show me
Yes.
one of those keys.
Just a second, sir.
Because if I'm not mistaken, you can supply
Yes,
any
sir.
end.
For example, this question, we need a endpoint for this particular question. This is definitely not possible to host it on Vercel because it's taking a input file, and it started getting
No,
very.
no, no, no. You can, no, because we can always process files in memory. This was also addressed in a previous session. I think last Wednesday. This was
Uh,
addressed.
yes, sir, but this JSON file itself differs from person to person. So I verified with a friend of mine. So his file is different from mine. So when
Yes,
he says name is equal to X and name is equal to Y, I get a different output and he gets a different
sure.
output.
That's not a problem, right? Because we send you the file anyway.
So I can use this particular file itself.
No, no. We send you the file in the post request.
Yes, sir. But is it possible to send a file in as a post request to a Vercel application, sir? That's my point.
Why not? Has anyone else tried? See, don't worry about this particular application.
I will
What
try.
I'm saying is, look, what I'm saying is, if you're sending, just send a file to a Vercel endpoint. Don't do anything special with it, and see if it accepts the file in the post. Hang on, just a second. So there was a session. So I've been informed there was a session where that was demonstrated as well, where there was a Vercel. Hang on, sorry. All right, sorry. Let me clarify. So we have tested it. You can send a file to Vercel, extract it, and it works. Okay, you just have to do that. Whereas the fancy processing that you require, keep that aside for a minute. Just try to get a file to Vercel endpoint and extract it. Try that first. If that works, you have achieved the first step. Then you start working on the problem of giving the expected response back. But as far as the sending a file to Vercel, we have tested it here and it works. So we know that you can send a physical file as a post request to Vercel endpoint.
Got it, sir. I will do that thing.
Okay.
I just have like one more question, sir. As far as ngrok tunnels are concerned, like I tried to do it on Windows, on a Windows laptop. I was not able to do that as
Okay,
compared.
okay. Let me stop you there. Right, we're going back to this ngrok business. So far, I haven't seen a use case where you've shown where you need a more than one ngrok tunnel or anything.
Just a second, sir. I'll take the question that I'm talking about.
Sure. Because ngrok you're allowed only one, unless you of course pay for it. But that's your call if you want to. But I can't say that's a solution for everyone because not everyone can afford to do that. So we are looking for free answers. But if you want to pay and do it, that's your call.
Yes, sir. For this question, sir.
Mhm. So here also you just need an endpoint, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can create any endpoint. It doesn't have to be this specific endpoint. The main thing is we will send a request to this endpoint, right? And it should provide us the expected response. So we'll send a post to that particular endpoint with that doc and query string, and we are expecting some sort of response back from it.
So for this question, in that case, I can host it on Vercel itself.
Yeah, you can host on Vercel or any endpoint you want. We just want an endpoint. It doesn't have to be that specific endpoint,
Got it, sir.
right? So there's no need for multiple ngrok tunnels.
Got it, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
in the
Oh.
same assignment, hello,
Mhm.
in the same assignment, question number 8, when we provide endpoints, so there are certain limitation in this question, like it's provided limited queries, and when
Okay,
we
okay.
check on the
Okay,
portal,
okay. Wait. You'll have to first show me the question, brother.
okay, just a second, sir. So, sir, this is the question in which
Okay.
example queries are given.
Mm-hmm.
So when we provide endpoint here, so it queries, but not all queries which accepted by the portal. Since here are only certain queries are present. So how do we this question, sir? Like
Yeah. So,
out of this box, there are certain queries which portal is accepting, sir.
yeah. So name of the function will be, for example, get ticket status, and you have five functions there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the specific issue you have?
Like, sir, it's sending queries to different query points. Like after the question mark q,
Mhm.
then it's sending get request to different ticket status, or you can say
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, you have to encode those endpoints on your server, right?
like, sir, I
And
added all these queries here present here,
sure.
but
Yeah.
it also looks for other queries, like here report office issues also present, but it also checking for complaint issues or some other queries which are not present in the question.
Uh,
They are changing dynamically, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. I understood. So you're saying not everyone has the same set of queries encoded. You're saying another student has another
No,
set
no,
of
sir.
five functions, is it?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm saying whatever the present in the question, like
Yeah.
this is defined functions. So
Yes.
I defined in my question in my function, but
Okay.
there are certain queries which are out of these functions, which are
Um,
yes, sir.
so when you do a check on this, right?
Yeah,
You're saying that it doesn't check for those five functions, is it? Which this GA? Which one? Three.
GA3, sir. Like it's sending queries for function related, like you can say complaint issues not present here, sir.
Okay. This
So
I was not aware of. One second. Huh?
during GA submission it is working, but now it's changing. I check queries in the terminals.
Okay, so during your normal J, it checked against those five functions. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Okay,
working
so
that time.
okay. So that's okay then. Just encode for those five questions only. I mean, five defined functions. Because
Five
that's why I was
function.
confused. Because see, what's going to happen is while because now this GA is not live anymore, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
some changes might be occurring in preparation for next term. So that's why at the moment it might be that it's checking for functions that are not specifically defined out there. So, but
Okay, sir.
I would assume if you looked at that question, right, it specifically tells you those functions are what are defined, correct? So I would expect it to work for those particular functions only.
Yes, sir.
That's my
Also,
expectation.
there are certain limitation of the portal, sorry, deployment portal. Like in Azure, we have limitation of sub process. Like we can't use sub process to process any uh, background endpoint, or
Okay.
like there are certain limitation regarding the file size. Like there are files which contains which are 61 MB file.
Yeah.
So
So
Azure
big,
limitation to
so
4 MB.
large. So that is you're talking about receiving, right? Receiving files.
Yes, sir. Receiving as well as if we put in the container, so it's not
Oh,
working
the
at
container.
Azure.
Oh, so the container doesn't allow for larger than 4 MB, is it?
Yes, sir.
To
I
store in
tried
the container.
to I tried to increase the limit, but I think it's 50 MB, not more than that.
Okay. I'm not aware of the that limitation for Azure specifically.
Yes, sir.
Have
So
you
we
checked?
are like,
Have you checked in DigitalOcean? What if they have any
no,
limitation on
sir.
this side? Okay.
So there are many limitation at various deployment portal. So we are
Mhm.
checking at Azure. Azure itself is very slow.
Mhm.
So we don't know how
Yes.
much time will like uh, DigitalOcean will
Slow.
take.
Yeah. So slow means I didn't understand what you meant by slow.
Like whenever we are pushing our project,
Ah, okay, okay.
so it's
Yeah, yeah.
take lot
That,
of time, sir.
yeah, yeah. So don't push your
Whatever
project
the
until,
changes.
okay, so don't see, this is another thing, right? Don't push your project to the server until you have it running, functioning well on your local system, right? Because then it's just a matter of deployment, right?
Actually, sir, I tried all my function working at local system, then I push. But there are some
Okay.
question which shows limitation at the deployment part. So we have to
Mhm.
modify those questions. Then
Okay.
again deployment and then same process again.
Mhm.
Also the GitHub questions are working at the like local system, and I tried everything but not working at Azure.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
debugging those questions.
because of the CLI type questions.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like I don't know how
I'm,
to.
Clark and
yeah.
not just CLI, anything that involves a process or moving files, those types of stuff. URL exposing questions. It's not working at all.
Okay.
Even
I'll,
version binding is not working.
Uh,
File handling, somewhat
I
it's working.
figure out endpoint, but sir, not not GitHub like questions.
mhm.
I figure
Okay.
out endpoint question how to handle endpoints.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Prasanna, you're on this call. Do you want to answer that question? How they could possibly deal with?
Hello. My question, sir. Sir, we don't know which platform is good for like deployment to handle all these questions. There are many questions which are like not working at deployment part, like GitHub questions.
aware of or worked through? Like,
Sorry,
is
sir.
there is it not, is there something framework that you're already trying out? Um, if you ask
Yes.
about benchmarking solutions, each one will have a different way. Be it with respect to individuality. Each framework has its own pros and cons. But if you have tried out specifically few frameworks, it will be easy for us to understand and maybe recommend on what to do.
Okay.
So what were the frameworks you tried?
Like, sir, for the GitHub related question, I run at local system. They are pushing, committing, and everything is working at local system. But whenever I tried on Azure, it is not working for those questions.
So when you said deployment via Azure, so did you have like an Azure VM and then tried this out? Or?
I am using Azure Web Services, where I deployed my whole project.
Okay, it's Vercel, right?
Uh, Azure, sir, Azure.
Yeah, yeah. So
Let me.
it's Vercel, and you have been using the for CI/CD. You have been using Azure DevOps pipeline, right?
You are not audible, sir.
Am I audible?
Audible, but your voice is too low.
No idea. One
Let
second.
me
Me, yeah.
let me check at my end. Yeah. Yes,
So,
sir.
Lakshay, one thing I was going to mention. So, you know, the GitHub questions, they don't have to use CLI, okay? You can just use the GitHub API. We actually demonstrated that in one of the recent sessions,
I
executing
tried, sir,
the.
but lot of errors at deployment part. Otherwise, working at local machine, I tried with my friend also. He also like
No, but
getting errors at Azure.
no, what I'm saying is we demonstrated the GitHub, any GitHub type questions. We did a working demonstration of that using API rather than using CLI commands,
Okay,
using the
sir.
GitHub API,
Okay, sir.
right? So that's not using CLI, right? That's not using subprocess. So those you can solve using the GitHub API itself.
There is one library I used Git Python instead of subprocess, so that's also not working at Azure.
Yeah, yeah. So that may be the library, but I'm saying the API. You understand the difference, right? The API is
Yes.
GitHub
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
its API. Yeah. So GitHub as an API. If you interact directly with the API, you can do almost all types of GitHub actions just interacting with the API.
All right, sir.
Okay. So that should work because we did do a demonstration of that particular thing.
What about larger files, sir? Like,
Yeah, the
how to handle
larger
those?
file thing, I don't have an answer just at this moment. That I'll have to get back with you on. Okay. Maybe
Okay, sir.
Prasanna might have a suggestion for you there.
This is on the larger. Okay, first we'll address on the previous question. So you have tried. Is my audio better now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Audible.
Okay. So coming back with respect to deployment, you have tried with Azure DevOps. So essentially Azure pipelines with Vercel, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're looking for alternate options apart from Azure DevOps, I think see, it comes back to again GitHub Actions. It can come again to GitLab runners. So there are different platforms you could try. But the suggestion I would provide you a suggestion since you have already started with Azure DevOps. If you find it difficult, you may post it in discourse. You can tag me directly. We can try to sort out with the respect to a specific error. But with respect to platforms, there is nothing like the best platform or best tool which we can use. So each one have from a cost perspective or from a feature perspective, which is specifically different. There is no fixed tool that you can use for deployment.
Okay, sir.
Now coming back to the second one, which is a larger files. So the challenge here is when how to process these larger files, right?
Yes, sir.
And
How to
yeah, when we say
how to
process at
put and access.
okay, put an access with respect to AP. File attachment, I think what is the max size limit that we can attach with a specific request? Let me check that real quick.
So, Lakshay, I was just speaking with Jivraj about the file. You think there is large files. There's only one, right,
Yes.
in the GA?
Yeah. One file, sir.
Yeah.
There are two,
Okay.
three questions based on that.
Okay. So that one file is a static file, right? It's not dynamic. In other words, everyone will get the same file, correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. What you can do in that situation, it's very simple. It's a very straightforward solution. You process the file beforehand itself because you know what the file is going to be. Keep a very small version of that file in CSV format or something, and then just process the request when the request comes in. Don't don't process a large file, right?
Okay. That can be alternate solution.
Yeah. So that
Okay, sir.
that can be a way around the problem.
Like I sold 80% of the project, but
Hmm.
certain there are certain limitation at the deployment area.
Yeah. So that is a way to get around that problem. Don't process it at all. Just you already know the file. It's static. It is not going to change from student to student. So pre-process it and keep it so that you can just respond to the question when the question arrives.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
Captain,
Yeah.
pre-processing file means that file will be not changed at all, right, for that GA. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
what you
That is a static file. Again, this is something Anand addressed in the previous session, which was check with your peers which files will change, which files don't, and I can guarantee
no,
you that 60
like
gigabyte,
I
60 megabyte file is not going to change. That's a very
yeah,
static file.
it's not changed. But while sending the request, will you send the same May 2024 file itself? That's what I want.
The file will be exactly the same that you guys have. It is not going to change for anyone.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
for JSON,
Only the dynamic files, those will change. The small, tiny files that we send.
okay. And one more thing, for image files, some are having like textual image, right? Those would be in PNG, right? You would be saving and sending, right?
Mhm. So PNG, you have to use, you might have to use a JavaScript library for those.
No, you will be sending us a file itself, or like how?
Yeah, yeah. We'll send you a file.
You will not be giving like scrapping it. Just you will not be giving like templates, right? No, right?
I didn't understand. Could you
No,
say that again?
no, no. You will not be giving like HTML template or like that stuff, right?
Image you're talking about, right?
No, no. Image embedded in like GA itself. So, for example, in GA2 and all, we had
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Yeah, we will send you the image for those.
file itself, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because normally what happens is we expect you to download the image, right, to process that.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
So we would send you the image itself. We won't
Okay,
send you
and
the
yeah,
HTML.
and link based files also. Most cases, the files would be available as an attachment itself, right?
Yeah, most of them would be. Yeah.
Okay, please be lenient. Just give me. Yeah, and for JSON, I tried as you recommended how to pass it, but it's not working at all. I can share the screen and show you how it's feeling.
Okay.
Can I share?
Yeah.
It will be tough to understand, but I will try to explain. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for GA3, 3, for question number 3, we need a JSON body itself.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the results which I gave, and it gave correct during my
Okay.
assessment.
Hmm.
And I am processing using that files and returning a response as well as loading it, like you told, right? JSON dot load of response.
Hmm.
So I got this thing. Okay. this response, and from my endpoint or an URL where we get response, it's been showing us slash escape character with, like we have in JSON, right? Like you said.
Yeah,
And
okay.
okay, but so actually, what I guess is that if I copy this output, that's the second print statement, and paste it here, this should work, as you said. Am I correct?
Yeah, but this is not been formatted, right?
This is JSON, right?
Yeah, I'm just having a look. Is there any differences? Because the thing is, I'm not sure what the differences are between the two.
Yeah, because both are JSON itself. That's why here it's not working at all. JSON.
No, no, yeah, but I cannot see. I cannot make out just by looking like this if they are exactly the same or not. So I can't tell you 100% for sure this is correct or not.
Look, this value is correct because I just inserted this thing.
Uh,
I can print it and show
the
this.
thing is, I have to take your word for it, right? And I've learned this lesson many times.
No,
Normally,
I can show you
yeah.
the processing what I did also. Okay, I can give you. So I stored the JSON,
So
JSON,
no, no.
and
I
I
look. I understood all that. Okay, you stored the JSON. What I'm saying is that value, right? I can't make out those two are exactly the same or not. What you had in your GA versus what you have printed out now. Are they
so the
precisely
RR
exactly
100%
the same?
same. Same. I can prove it out now itself.
Okay.
But prove like when
Can
I do
yeah.
this.
Can you okay? Can you do one thing? Can you like prettify it and see what it looks like and compare the two?
Okay.
Do you have a way to, in other words, compare the two JSONs are exactly equivalent? If they are
Yeah,
not,
we can use online.
because that's the first thing I would check.
Let me prove it. Just this single quotes. That's the thing. Here double quotes is there. There single quotes is there. That's the only difference. Let me try replacing.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you copy that output to VS Code? The
VS
one
Code.
after loading,
Ah,
after JSON loads.
okay. Yeah. This is the output, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just create one new file.
Okay.
Yeah, paste it and
Yeah. It's
format
changed.
it. Left click it.
Okay.
Right click. Right click.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Now can you press? Okay. Leave it. Can you press Control H
Okay. Control H.
and put single quotes in the above one
Okay.
and
And
double
double
quotes in
quotes.
the below one
Okay.
and replace all? Can you copy this? Okay, there is this false as well. It should
Yeah.
be small letters.
Which one? Here.
Yeah. So if you look at the difference, additional properties,
Okay.
okay, that was earlier false. But if you look at in the second one, uh,
Okay. But I just loaded the JSON, right? Then will it change?
no, 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 it won't change. Like,
Then
so after doing JSON loads, are you able to access model? Can you try to access model on line number 180?
which one?
Line number 180, can you try to access model from this JSON loads?
Okay, this model. Okay.
Yeah.
Let I will put that. Yeah. This one. You're trying telling to do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
this one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did you press submit button?
No, no, no. It's processing. It's taking time. It's building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that processing time was for?
Just initiating the
Okay.
application. That's it.
Okay, yeah, it prints GPT-4 or mini. Then yeah, it is a valid JSON.
Yeah, only this false is because we load this one, right?
Yeah,
That's
because it is inside Python.
yeah, that's why. So why it's not working? The key point.
It's not working because so what you are printing is JSON dot loads, which is actually loading that string into your Python program. So Python treats small FALSC in JavaScript, and in Python it is capital FALSC.
Okay, so if I change this one and try it here, it should work, right? As you said, it should work. Still, it's not working. JSON loading itself is not working. That's the key point.
Kelvin,
Yeah,
the evaluation script that we will run, right? It will
yeah.
parse that anyway.
Pass single quotes, double quotes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then if we have like single quotes itself in a JSON, then how?
See, just make sure that the JSON loads works correctly.
Okay, like which I did right.
Yeah.
I will do. Okay, fine.
Okay.
In HTTP.
As long as the JSON body loads correctly in JSON loads, we will pass it on this end so that it will not trip on these small things.
Okay. Okay. But this answer here, I just tried with answer, but actually we have to try with the response, right? JSON, you would be trying.
Sorry, could you repeat that again,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. No, actually here we tried with answer because we had to pass JSON answer,
Hmm.
right? In actual case of evaluation, you will be passing the response to JSON, and whenever you want a JSON output or the dictionary like things, you will be loading using JSON outputs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. For string and others, you will not do anything.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fine. I just got confused. Yeah, I
Okay.
will try it out
It's
for other things.
yeah.
Also, this Python would be like that, right? Same thing. Python also.
Okay. So I'm going to so tomorrow we have a session. Okay, and that will run from 8 to 10. So we'll pick up this session again tomorrow.
Okay.
So because it's already 10:30 now.
Yeah.
Um, the mm, only other thing I was going to say is if there are any things you would like us to demonstrate, because tomorrow I think is the last session before the deadline, correct?
Yeah.
So if there are any things you want to be demonstrated tomorrow, uh, what I would suggest is you post on discourse specifically saying, what are the things you want us to address in that session, and then we will try and address those in that session. So if you want a
Yes, sir. Like,
if you want a working demo of something specific, then we can have that shown for
Yeah.
ready for you
URL
guys.
based questions. Can it be shown? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
So what I'm saying is, don't just say it here.
okay,
Put it on discourse, right?
okay,
And then we will take a look at the posts on discourse, and we'll tailor the session tomorrow
okay,
to demo those specific things.
okay, okay. And do we have any
Uh,
support session for the plant while
Sorry,
deployment issues like that, like what they want?
I didn't quite hear that last sentence.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't clear.
In project one, we had support sessions, right? Just one day before, while facing issues during deployment or all. Like that, we have
Not,
any sessions.
no, no, not particularly, no, because we've conducted many sessions on Project 2 actually. So I don't think it'll be necessary.
Okay. Yeah. No, actually,
sir,
Yes, Lakshay.
is there any solution project like you can show us after like this evaluation part, evaluation of this project?
Yeah, we are actually creating a solution for it.
Like on not on local machine, like show us on like on deployment portal, whatever
Hmm.
you are using.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And like I said, if you got any particular questions you want a demo on, we'll try and show them tomorrow. So put it on discourse and we'll go through that and have something for you guys tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Captain, GA7 is not mandatory, right?
No, no. I mean, like that, none are mandatory. Only 4 out of 7 GAs are necessary to be eligible for the end term as long as you have
But
40 and above.
I got 600 or 600. This one
Yeah.
I could not figure out.
Then it's not required.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.